Welcome to chapter 2, nutrition in animals, part 3. So we were discussing digestion in human being, digestion system of the human being, and we have discussed oral cavity. In oral cavity we have discussed about teeth, tongue and salivary gland and saliva. Now there is a small step remaining, that is called as a digestion in the mouth. So digestion process in human, as you can see, started from oral cavity. How? Because the teeth breaks down the food item which we have into the small particles. It is also a process of digestion, and by the motion of the tongue and the cheeks mixed with the saliva. So teeth breaks down food into the small particles, and by the help of the tongue and the cheeks, the food particle mixed with the saliva, and the saliva is a special type of chemicals called as enzymes, and these enzymes can help in the digestion of the food inside the oral cavity. And the special type of enzyme called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase help the digestion of the carbohydrates which are present in the small particles of the food into the simple sugar, that is called as a maltose, and with the help of the which enzyme? Salivary amylase. So whenever somebody asks from you that from where the digestion process start in the human being, so you can answer it from oral cavity. In next part we will be discussing that the digestion process further from mouth to the esophagus and stomach and small intestine and large intestine. So now continuing with the digestion process in the human being, the chewed food from the oral cavity is pushed to the short muscular tube called pharynx. So pharynx is present in the throat part of the human being, and the chewed food from the oral cavity or mouth pushed to short muscular tube called pharynx with the help of the tongue and various muscle movement present in the oral cavity. So now chewed food pushed to the small muscular cavity or tube called pharynx. Now from the pharynx food goes into the long muscular tube called as a esophagus. We have discussed esophagus in the digestive system diagram. Long muscular tube called esophagus presents some kind of a special type of muscle called longitudinal muscle and circular muscle. So contraction and relaxation of these muscles, circular and longitudinal muscle, help food to propagate towards the stomach. So these movement of the muscle called as a peristalsis movement. So why the help of peristalsis movement of circular and longitudinal muscle of esophagus, our food goes into our stomach. So here is the diagram for the process. In the long muscular tube called esophagus, the center part is called as a lumen, and in lumen the food particle present in the form of a bolus. So the bolus, that is nothing but a food part present inside the lumen, and with the help of circular muscle squeezing the food, and further circular muscle relax, allowing food to move downwards to the stomach. So something like this kind of a movement. The muscle presses the food, so it squeezes out, and the muscle relaxes the food, so it goes downwards. So continue movement of the squeezing and relaxing of circular and longitudinal muscle called as a peristalsis, and which help our food to go downwards to the stomach. Now we will discuss digestion in the stomach in human being. So now we have reached to digestive system from esophagus to stomach. Now stomach is a very important part of the digestive system. The proper digestion of the food starts from the stomach only. Previously we discussed the digestion start from the oral cavity, but the proper digestion is start from the stomach. So stomach is a organ that is present in left side of your abdomen. If somebody is standing in front of you, so somewhere here this region is called as, in this region the stomach present. It is roughly J shaped. As you can see here, this is the stomach, the black section that I am circling around, it is a stomach. It is roughly J shaped. It measures around 12 inches to 12 inches in the length and 6 inches in the width and breadth. And the capacity of the any adult human being stomach is about 2 liter of the food. So why does it represent in a liter? Because the food is converted into a pulp like structure which is slightly solid and slightly liquid. That's why it measure in the liter. And the wall of the stomach, that means the thickness, this thickness of the stomach secretes some kind of a juice that is called as a gastric juice, which help in the digestion of the food. Now the gastric juice contains various type of material. First one is called hydrochloric acid. So gastric juice which secreted by the wall of the stomach contains hydrochloric acid, some amount of enzymes that help in the digestion of the food, enzymes named as pepsin, and large amount of mucus is secreted by the wall of the stomach. So mucus, what is the function of the mucus? Mucus help to protect wall of the stomach, enzyme help in the digestion of the food, and HCl, yeah, that means hydrochloric acid, help in the disinfection of your food, and somehow hydrochloric acid is required for the activity of the pepsin. If hydrochloric acid won't be present, so pepsin, that is the enzyme, won't act on a food, so it can't be digested. So it is very important that is HCl is present in the stomach, and the pH value, that is around 1.5 in stomach present, acid HCl. Now digestion in the stomach takes place in the acidic medium, because we have told that the hydrochloric acid is present in stomach, and with the help of acidic medium and the presence of the enzyme called pepsin, the proteins present in our food particles, that is large unit, converted into the peptone, that is called as a small subunit. So the digestion of protein is by pepsin with the help of acidic medium inside the stomach, converted to the peptones, those are called as a small subunit. So now in stomach, the whatever the food content is present, it converted, food converted in the stomach into the thick liquid called chyme. So now the food which is previously present in the mouth then goes into the esophagus, now from esophagus it into the stomach, and now from the stomach this thick liquid called chyme leaves the stomach and goes into the intestine. The major digestion part of the food occurs in the stomach with the help of enzyme pepsin and the other acidic medium called hydrochloric acid. Now the partially digested food, which is in the form of thick liquid called chyme, leaves the stomach and goes into the intestine. Now the further digestion process occur in small intestine and remaining occur in the small intestine. So let's discuss about further digestion process in small intestine. Now food from the chyme. Now food from the stomach, that is called as a chyme, reaches into the small intestine and mixed with the intestinal juice. So small intestine is the longest organ of the digestive system, which is about 7.5 meter in long and located below the stomach in abdominal cavity. So these two organs are present in abdominal cavity, longest organ of the digestive system, and 7.5 meter long, located in the abdomen. So food from the stomach, that is called as a chyme, reach into the intestine and mix with the intestinal juice, and further digestion process takes place in the small intestine. Now food that present in the small intestine mixed with the intestinal juice. Now what is present in intestinal juice comes from the three various organs. First important organ is called as a liver. The largest organ of the body is called liver. It is around, weighs some 3 kgs in adult, reddish brown in the color, and it secretes the bile juice. So bile juice is one of the component of the intestinal juice. So liver provide bile juice to gallbladder, a sac-like structure stored. The bile juice that is produced by the liver is temporarily stored in the gallbladder and help in the digestion of the fat. If the bile juice won't present, the digestion of the food fat that present in our food won't be occur. So liver produces bile juice and gallbladder temporarily stored it and secreted inside the intestine, and the composition one of the component of the intestinal juice. And the third important organ, that is the pancreas, large cream colored gland that is present below the stomach. So below the stomach and secrete a pancreatic juice, which is one of the component of intestinal juice. So these three organs, liver, gallbladder and pancreas, secrete their juices into the small intestine. This part here, the secretion of liver, gallbladder and pancreas secreted inside the small intestine will help in the digestion of carbohydrate and protein, and along with the bile juice, digestion of the fat. Now further digestion which is occur in the small intestine, we represent in by some chemical reactions. Now with the help of the intestinal juice which is provided by the gallbladder, liver and pancreas, the component of the food particle that are carbohydrate that are partially digested by the help of intestinal juice, and the inside the small intestine it converted into the glucose in the simplest form of the sugar. Fat, those are present in the form of small droplets converted also with the help of intestinal juice into the fatty acid and the glycerol. These are the simplest form of the fat. And the proteins which are present in the food particle partially digested, these are converted into the simplest form of amino acids. So these amino acids, fatty acids and the glycerol and the glucose, these now are simplest form of the nutrients that can be absorbed by our body. So starting from the ingestion, digestion, and now the third process of the nutrition started, that is called as the absorption. Now we will be discussing absorption in the small intestine, and the remaining absorption takes place in the large intestine. So for digestion start from mouth, then transfer to the transfer of the food occurs in the esophagus. From esophagus the food transported to the stomach, where the partial digestion of the carbohydrate and protein occurs. Now food comes into the small intestine, where the full digestion of the food occur with the help of the liver, provided by liver bile juice and the pancreatic juice, which are the component of intestinal juice, help to digest into the simplest form of the nutrient. Now the nutrient which are already digested absorbed by the small intestine, and the remaining absorbed by the large intestine, and the remaining undigested part, that is excreted by rectum and followed by anus. Now as you all know that digestion of the food completed inside the small intestine, now the further process that is called as absorption of the digested food occurs in small intestine. So absorption is occur by wall of intestine. Now the wall of small intestine contains a special type of finger like projections. This projection is called as the villi, in singular we called as a villus, and these villi contain the various capillaries and lacteals. Those absorb the digested nutrient and transported it into the blood circulation. Now blood circulation contains these nutrients ultimately transported to the various cells, tissues and organs present inside the organism's body, and the use of these nutrients called as a assimilation. Now we enter into the next process of the nutrition, that is assimilation. So start from ingestion, digestion, then absorption, now assimilation. Now the absorption also takes place in the large intestine. Now we will discuss in the absorption of the food into the large intestine. Now the remaining food that is undigested, some water and some kind of the salt also absorbed by the large intestines, and it is about 1.5 meter in length and mainly absorb water and the salt. So the role of the large intestine is absorption of water and salt from undigested food. Now after the absorption of these water and some salt, the undigested food called as a feces or the stool. Now the feces or stool is transported to the here rectum, from large intestine to the rectum, and now rectum temporarily hold the feces or stool, and whenever the urge of the excretion occur, ejection occur, the undigested food pass through anal canal, and from the anus it is transported out of the body. So this process is called as the ejection. So from starting the ingestion of the food, the digestion of the food, and absorption of the food, then assimilation of the food, and final part is the ejection of the food. After the ejection, the digestion process or nutrition process in the human is now completed. So here the chapter 2 in the nutrition in animal and the digestive system of the human being is now completed. Summarize this chapter. Start from the digestion, start from the oral cavity, transported to the esophagus. Now from esophagus it transported to the stomach, partially digestion of the carbohydrate and protein occur here. Now the food transported to the small intestine, where the intestinal juice digest fat and remaining carbohydrate and protein with the help of the intestinal juice, which is provided by the liver, gallbladder and pancreas. Now the final digestion occur in the small intestine, along with the absorption of the nutrient also occur in the small intestine, and the undigested food now transported to the large intestine, where the absorption of water and some salt occur from the undigested food. Now undigested food transported to the rectum, and from rectum to anal canal to anus, and from anus it is out of the organism's body. So here the complete nutritional or digestion system of the human being. So here the chapter 2 part 3 completed, and thank you so much for your time.